Good morning, students. So, I'm going to explain you the features of GST. These features all of you know very well. Many indirect taxes are subsumed under GST. No dispute between the goods and services. State-wise registration for the traders. Transparency in the transaction. Boost to make up India project. Tax on tax system is removed. Removal of cascading effect also, as well as the quality of the product is good. Okay, so many things are there, students. Okay, so just today I am going to finish your this lesson. So these all questions, so all of you know that. Always remember, students, just it is the last and revision video of your financial planning. Now students, all of you know that when the income input tax and output tax we have to calculate. Then how to calculate what is input tax, what is output tax? Input tax means it is always calculated on the purchasing value, whereas the output tax it is calculated on the selling value. Then for example, it is for the retailer. If it is a retailer, then which one is the input tax and which one is the output tax? Is it? Now see the one example. A trader from Surat, Gujarat sold, it is selling cotton cloth to the trader in the Gujarat, means same state. Okay, the taxable value is 2.5 lakh and the amount of GST he paid is 5%. What is there? It is a output tax. Why? Because just one trader is selling the price. Means if we are purchasing from a shopkeeper, then at that time whatever we are paying, that is GST payable. Same here, whatever he is paying, it is also GST payable. So on which value we are always calculating? We are calculating on a taxable amount. So many students have a doubt regarding this. They are sending the message. That's why I am explaining this. So always remember, you have to calculate the GST on a taxable amount, not total amount. Taxable amount means whatever, at what price you are purchasing that product, that good or that service. So it is a 5% paid by the GST, on which value? It is on a 2.5 lakh. And it is calculated how? The 5 divided by 100 into 2.5 lakh means 2,50,000, and that GST is calculated, that is 12,500. Okay, so this, so I explain you. Now in this example, what happened? The taxable value of that panels is 85,000. Okay, that who purchased? Smith Malhotra, and she sold to 90,000. Now so selling price is 90,000, purchasing price is 85,000. So always remember, your output tax is calculated on the selling value and the input tax is calculated on the purchasing value, and GST payable is also always equal to output minus of input tax credit. Understood? When it is a purchasing and selling taxable value and rate of GST is given, then you have to calculate output tax, input tax and then GST payable. Why? Always remember that if retailer is there, if he is purchasing from the wholesaler and selling to the consumer, then how much amount he have to pay? Whatever it is collected from the customer minus GST amounts, means it is a output tax. Collected amount, whatever GST you are calculating, that is your output tax, and minus of input tax, means at the time of purchasing, that retailer purchased from wholesaler, at that time how much tax he paid, that difference is a GST payable. So don't be confused. Understood? Remember, output tax calculated on selling value and input tax calculated on purchasing value. Now, so what is GST? CGST and GST, that no need to say. Whatever GST amount you are paying, that divided by 2 is your CGST and SGST. Always remember. Okay. Now, This question also I explained yesterday. Is it? Now here it is one of the chain is there. If chain is there, then there are more than 2 or 3 persons are there. Their purchasing, selling is done. And according to that, you have to calculate the value. If it is like this there, you can draw the diagram also and you can solve. Or you prepare the table. Sorry students. So you prepare the table also. Now this last question from your practice set. Sorry, problem set. For the given trading chain, this is a trading chain. What a tax invoice was wholesaler to distributor. So prepare the tax invoice means हमें bill बनाना है. Tax invoice means what? A bill. First, second and third. GST at the rate of 12% was charged for the article supplied. So wholesaler to distributor. What is the taxable amount for the wholesaler? 5,000. And he is selling to the distributor at 6,000. That is your first chain. Okay. So input tax 12% of 5,000 and output tax 12% of 6,000. Now for the next invoice, taxable amount is 6,000 and the selling amount is 6,500. Means this distributor sell at what price? 6,500. Okay. And third invoice is retailer and customer. Okay. So now listen. Prepare the statement of GST payable under each head of the wholesaler, distributor and retailer at the time of filing the return government. At the end of the amount it is paid by the consumer or customer. Write which of the invoice issue B2B and B2C. B2B means business to business. Now here it is business to business, here business to business and here business to customer or consumer. Understood? Now for the wholesaler, output tax is what I said. Output tax for the wholesaler is at what price it is selling? 5,000. So output tax it is calculated on 5,000, that is 600 rupees. For the distributor, this is a purchasing value and this is a selling value. Okay. Wholesaler purchasing value it is not given. Just wholesaler selling value given. So selling value given, it means that this is a output tax. On 5,000 we have to calculate for the wholesaler, and for the distributor input this output tax is equal to input tax of a distributor and the output tax is calculated on the 6,000 rupee. So output tax of distributor is 12% of 6,000, so that is 720. So how much? GST payable 720 minus 600, that is 120 rupees. This is for the wholesaler. Now for the retailer. For the retailer, where it is here? Input tax, output tax. So it is calculated on input output tax on 6,500 and input tax on output tax 6,500, input tax on 6,000 rupees. This is the next invoice and it is 60 rupees. And last, for the retailer, input tax and output tax. For the second ITC for the consumer is 780. How? The retailer 60 rupees, CGST, SGST 30. And therefore the statement of GST payable for the trading chain is this one. Wholesaler their GST 600, for distributor it is 120 and for the retailer is 60. So total amount is 780 rupees, and therefore the amount paid by the consumer is, what is the price for the consumer? Consumer is 6,500, but whatever GST is paid by all the chain, that is total, that is addition of 780 input tax credit. जिन्होंने पेड किया वो सब कहाँ किससे कलेक्ट करते हैं? एट लास्ट फ्रॉम द कंज्यूमर, एंड दैट इज अ tax for the consumer is 780 rupees, and therefore for the taxable for the price of that, for amount that product for the consumer is 7,280 rupees. Now B2B means wholesaler to distributor, B2B distributor to retailer, and B2C means retailer to consumer. So understand. So for how? Firstly, according to chain, you have to calculate the GST payable for wholesaler and retailer, and at last, distributor and retailer, and at last whatever amount of GST paid by the wholesaler, distributor and retailer, that addition is total amount paid by at last by the consumer, and therefore the taxable amount plus of ITC is your amount paid by the consumer. So always remember that whatever tax are levied for the goods and service, levied means जितना भी टैक्स कौन से भी प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर है वो पूरा पेड कौन करता है, it is indirectly paid by the consumer, and therefore it is called as an indirect tax. It is indirectly paid by the consumer, and therefore it is called as a indirect tax. So students, all concept I revise also, and this last question also I say now prepare. On Saturday I will conduct your test. Okay students, so if you have doubt you can call me or message me. Ready for the test.